Welcome to Learn with Saeed. I'm Saeed Mahmood, coming to you live from London. And I'm here to talk about some misconceptions about IELTS and to dispel some of the common myths. So, I hope you can hear me and see me clearly. I'm on the street, so I'm using my mobile data to come to you live. However, this video might later be uploaded, depending on how it goes. It might later be uploaded to YouTube. So those of you who are watching this later on YouTube, please remember that this was recorded live, which means that the live videos, as of course, the live videos are not exactly the same as the recorded, pre-recorded and the videos that are scripted. So this video might not be that smooth. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so what are the myths about IELTS? There are many. I'm going to talk about 10 in this video, depending on how long it takes, because I'm going for Jumu'ah, and if I get there before I get to 10, then it might be 5 or whatever. Some of the things I want to discuss would include what is the IELTS score required for any particular country. Is there a fixed score for each country? Point number 2 would be, are IELTS tests easier? Are the IELTS tests, what are the easier centers or the countries to get a good score in, or is there something like that at all? The tips and tricks, how much do they help? And also we'll talk about whether the IELTS course would help you to improve your English. And also another point I'd like to talk about is the use of uncommon words, or rather some of the words that are not that common. So, to begin with, I get a question quite frequently asking, what is the IELTS score for Canada? What is the IELTS score for the UK? What is the required score for Australia? Things like that. Now, those of you who are more aware of how the world works, you would find this kind of obvious, but these messages that I get every day show that not everyone is so savvy about these things, and there are a lot of people who for some reason believe that there is one set score, one fixed score that is required by a country. Like, you know, maybe Justin Trudeau is sitting there and saying, if you score 6, you can come to my country. Or Theresa May, well, Theresa May doesn't want anybody to come to her country. Well, some people not to come to her country, but that's a different story. So it's not as if she's sitting there and saying that, okay, this is the score for my country. Think about it. Think about it this way. If you are coming to, or if you are going to come to, or try to go to a country, then think about it this way. What visa are you going to apply for? You must be aware that there are different types of visas, right? Now, you are not suggesting that all the different types of visas would have the same requirement, would they? Like the student visa, the work visa, the settlement visa. You don't expect all the different types of visas to have the same requirement, do you? At the same time, even if you say, okay, I know what visa I want student visa. Now, what visa, what subject do you want to study, for example? Do you want to study science, medicine, business? What kind of institute do you want to study at? Let's say a university or whatever. So, are you again suggesting that all the universities would have the same requirement? All the subjects, a journalist, someone who is studying to be a journalist, would have the same writing skills as someone who is studying maths, for example? So if you think about it, it will show you that the requirements must be different based on what you want to do. So that's the answer to the question that there is a fixed score for a country. No, there is no such thing like that. It depends on what you want to do with the IELTS exam, what visa you want to apply for, what institute you want to go for. So the best thing to do is, if you're going for a student visa, call the university, email the university, find out from them what score they require. Now, there's a bit of time left before I get there, so I'm going to walk around here a little bit and finish this. So as I said, it depends on what you want to do with it, and I intend to make another video about this, but very briefly, the immigration websites of all of these countries, UK, Canada, Ananda is watching from Assalamu alaikum, Asif Adnan Ananda, কেমন আছো? And there are some people commenting, but as I'm on the street, I won't be able to see all the comments. So as I was saying, these websites are very user-friendly. They have a lot of information. So just search for it, spend some time on Google, look up the information that you need for each of the countries. They would have on their website what the requirements are. You need to read through them, find out more about it. Point number 2, let's move on from that. Now, some people believe that some countries or some test centers have an impact on the score that you get. So are some institutes or some test centers judge you or mark you differently? That's another misconception, I would say, that some centers are harsher and some centers are lenient. But end of the day, the reality is IELTS is a standardized test. What that means is this score that you get depends on you, not on the test center. Sorry about that. So it depends on you and your performance, not on the test center. Now, I know a lot of you are screaming at the screen now saying that, oh no, I went to this center, I didn't get the score, then I went to the next one and I got the score. I'm not going to argue with some anecdotal evidence, but the official position is that it's a standardized test, so the standard is the same everywhere. Now, if you have found this not to be not true, and if you have experience to the contrary, please let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. I can just tell you the official position, because the teachers and the examiners, rather, the examiners are also monitored by the seniors, the supervisors, to make sure that they are also following the guidelines and they're marking based on the criteria that they're supposed to. So if they don't do that, they'll lose their jobs. So so that's not how it works, that they would be friendly to someone. That's not their job to be friends with you. They're there to do their job, and if they're marking you correctly according to the criteria, that's good enough. But if you have other experiences, please do let me know. I'd like to hear from you in the comments below. Next point, what about some tricks and some tips and techniques that might help you to maybe, as some people believe, that you can kind of cheat the exam. Now, they're not going to say the word cheat, but they think that you can kind of bypass the purpose of the test and get a score that you don't deserve. Well, it doesn't work that way. Sorry to bust the bubble that are promoted by some of the organizations, some websites who want to make you subscribe or pay the fees to them. They would sometimes promote and say that guaranteed 7, guaranteed 7.5, and they would make it seem like you can learn some tricks and get a fantastic score. It doesn't work that way. What do the tricks and tips and techniques do? The reason why we talk about these techniques is that once you have the sufficient level of English, you know English, then you learn what the exam is all about. So the techniques are about the exam. So for example, if someone who knows good English but has no idea about the exam goes and sits for the exam, will not get the score that they deserve because they haven't prepared for it. So I had a friend who knew very good English but thought that, yeah, IELTS doesn't matter. I know English, just go for it. And when they went there, they couldn't focus on the listening and this and that because they're not well versed in how the exam would be. So you learn the tricks to make sure that you don't make silly mistakes and you know what the exam is all about and you get the score that you deserve. If you are at a level of 5 and you want to go to 7, learning tricks will not help you to bridge that gap. For that, you need to improve your English. Point number 3, I have discussed 3. So point number 4, IELTS courses. Still continuing about IELTS courses, but different point. Do the IELTS courses help you to improve your English? This is also a misconception, and some people go for an IELTS course at some of the organizations. Sorry about that again. Some of them go to these IELTS courses thinking that the course itself will help them to improve their English. It doesn't work that way either. Sorry again to dispel the myth. The reality is that the IELTS courses are not designed to improve your English. They're designed to help you understand what the exam is all about. Yes, it might, because of the practice, it might help you a little bit to improve your English. But if your English is not good enough, you need to improve your general level of English first before you go for a course or during it, but definitely before going for the exam, because just going for a course or repeating it would not help. So some organizations would say pass guarantee or things like that, that if you don't get the desired score, you can retake the course for free. Well, if their course is not good enough, or if you're not there, what's the point of retaking the course itself? You need to improve your English. Speaking of improving the English, what about using big words? Now, some people think that using some synonyms, learning some synonyms of the regular words and just dropping them into the writing task or saying them while speaking, some people think that that would help you to improve your score. Unfortunately, what happens is, what I've seen, because I mark a lot of writing task scripts, what I see that what a lot of people do is they use the synonyms without understanding how to use them. Let me give you a very simple example. The word beautiful. The weather is beautiful, these trees around me, everything is beautiful. But the word beautiful itself has a lot of synonyms. So if you look up the synonyms of beautiful, you will find maybe charming. That's one of them they'll find on Google. There could be so many different ways of saying beautiful. Do they all apply everywhere? So for example, this tree or this plant, this vegetation behind me, that could be beautiful. But are they charming? Now, a person can be charming, but if you look up on Google and you see charming and you say a charming tree, does it make sense? So what you need to do is not just learn or memorize the words, but also you need to understand what context to use them in. So when you read them or study them, you need to look at this sentence, learn some sentences with it. And one very good way of making sure that it sticks with you is that next day or a couple of days later, try to think of that word again and try to come up with a sentence of your own, so that that kind of moves on from your short-term memory to your long-term memory, so that you can remember the word and the way it is used. Now, remember this, that using a simple word is better than making a mistake while trying to use a big word. So use a simple word when you're not sure, and do not use the uncommon, so-called uncommon words without really understanding how to use them. So if you're not sure how to use them, don't use them. Don't make a mistake by trying to impress the examiner. And when a word looks really out of place, the examiner knows immediately that you don't know how to use it. You've just picked it up from somewhere and you've just dropped it there. Anyway, so as I said, I'm going somewhere and I'm gonna be late. So okay, I wanted to talk about 10, and there's so much more going through my head I want to tell you. If I upload this on YouTube and you're watching it on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see the next part of this video. I'm gonna come to you again with a more maybe better prepared and more detailed video discussing a few more of these points. And also, if you like to travel and if you like experiencing the world, I have another YouTube channel where I show you or share with you the anecdotes and various parts of my traveling and experiencing the world. It covers traveling, food, lifestyle, and so much more. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description. When I end this video, I'm gonna leave a link in the description, so please go and subscribe to that channel as well and have a look at those videos if you like them, and share them with your friends and family. And if you think someone who believes these misconceptions about IELTS, share this video with them so that they can benefit from it as well. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care, all the best. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.